Momento assustador.
Produção
Paulo Barros e Levi Barros.
O que acontece depois da morte? Este vídeo aborda uma das maiores preocupações que as pessoas têm no mundo. Representa um mistério que há muito tempo acompanha a humanidade. Isso causa insegurança, inquietude e medo em muitas pessoas. Afinal, o que acontece depois da morte? Existe vida depois da morte? Para onde o espírito, a alma e a nossa energia vão depois da morte? Essas perguntas e suas respostas aparecem num estudo científico realizado pelo psiquiatra Raymond Moody. Ele investigou, entrevistou e conversou com centenas de pessoas que foram declaradas mortas. Declaradas mortas, cada uma ao seu tempo, pelos médicos. Essas pessoas morreram e voltaram à vida de forma estimulada, por meio de aparelhos ou de manobras de ressuscitação. Algumas delas voltaram à vida de forma espontânea, ou seja, por si mesmas, sem nenhum estímulo, como veremos a seguir. Existe o caso de um psicólogo que voltou à vida durante a sua autópsia, e outro de um empresário que voltou à vida quando ia ser levado para o necrotério. Essas investigações foram feitas com pessoas de vários países que nem se conheciam. Todas contaram experiências muito parecidas, com pontos até mesmo iguais. Esse estudo científico não tem relação com qualquer religião. Ele resultou num livro e também num documentário, Life After Life, ou seja, Vida Após a Vida. Veremos a seguir alguns desses casos. Antes de continuarmos, dê o seu like, inscreva-se, ative o sininho. Assim você vai estar nos ajudando a pesquisar e revelar momentos que interessam a você e a muitas pessoas. Primeiramente, vamos conhecer a causa da morte de cada uma das pessoas que foram entrevistadas. O primeiro caso é de Daniel Brinkley. Ele é um empresário de produtos eletrônicos. Sua morte ocorreu quando ele estava ao telefone. Um raio caiu, percorreu a fiação e o atingiu no ouvido e no pescoço.
But what had happened was I was talking on the phone, holding the telephone like this. The lightning came down the phone line, entered my neck. It went through my spine, threw me up in the air. As it threw me in the air, it knocked me out of my shoes and welded the nails in the heels of my shoes to the nails in the floor.
O segundo caso é de Sandy Rogers, uma enfermeira. Sua morte ocorreu por suicídio. Ela estava desesperada. Pegou uma arma e deu um tiro no próprio coração.
Before I shot myself, I measured like we did in CPR to find where the heart was. And that's where I just took the barrel and put it up against my chest and pulled the trigger.
O terceiro caso é de Viola Horton. Ela é uma dona de casa. Sua morte ocorreu por complicações pós-cirúrgicas.
I had not responded to treatment. I was getting worse, and the doctor had come to see, and at this point, he says, I've lost her. She's gone.
O quarto caso é o de George Ritchie. Ele é um psiquiatra. Sua morte ocorreu devido a uma pneumonia que o atingiu em ambos os pulmões.
I was discovered to have a temperature of 106.5, and instead of waiting for the jeep, the captain in charge of the ward sent me over to X-ray. And the last thing I remember was the captain in charge of the X-ray asking if I thought I could stand up long enough for them to get a picture of my chest. And I remember hearing an X-ray making that peculiar whirring sound and then a click, and I'm told that I collapsed in a heap.
O quinto caso é de Pamela Lawes. Ela é gerente de gravações do cantor Garth Brooks. Sua morte ocorreu devido a várias picadas de abelhas.
This wasn't a typical bee sting because I quickly realized that there was a problem, and I tried to telephone someone for help. The rest of the ranger station was about 3 miles in, and I tried to telephone my boss to send some help, and I fell and went unconscious.
O sexto caso é de George Rodonai. Ele é um psicólogo. Sua morte ocorreu após ele ser atropelado por um carro.
I had an invitation from
United States, and I was leaving for New York that day, and I was coming to take my passport, and I was ready to fly. That time, on sidewalk, I was moved over or run over by car, and I was taken to hospital. Doctors did anything they could to help me, but I was declared dead.
Todos eles lembram muito bem de suas experiências de quase morte, a EQM. Ouviram os seus médicos dizerem alguma coisa como: ele se foi, ele morreu, ele está morto. Eles contaram que estranharam essas afirmações, porque estavam se sentindo muito vivos, mais vivos até do que antes. Eles saíram dos seus corpos físicos, flutuaram e viram tudo o que estava acontecendo. Veja isso nas próprias palavras do médico que conduziu todas as investigações, o psiquiatra Raymond Moody.
Pretty much all over the world we found this common pattern. They tell us that at this point where their doctor says they are dead, that they may actually hear the physician say, oh my, he's dead, or we've lost her, or something like that. And they say that from their perspective, actually, they still feel very much alive. Indeed, their consciousness is heightened.
Eles também disseram que começaram a enxergar espíritos de luz. Alguns deles os chamaram de anjos da guarda, outros de guias. Eram entidades que vieram ajudá-los em suas passagens, ou seja, da morte para outra vida. Quando eu era jovem, meu pai, que era um médium, volta e meia era chamado para dar passes em pessoas muito doentes. Algumas, em momentos bem próximos das suas mortes, comentavam que estavam vendo parentes que já tinham partido e também espíritos de luz. Naquela época, eu não conhecia essa investigação de vida após a vida. Agora eu percebo que aquelas informações que o meu pai passava tinham muito sentido.
I was above my body, I was floating, and there were people around me, except I didn't realize that that person there was me.
But then all of a sudden I heard this statement: he's gone, he's gone. At that point, I was standing behind the paramedic. I was watching him work on my body.
And I could see the soldiers and the nurses and the doctors, but they could not see me.
Then I felt myself float up to the ceiling, and I was looking down, and he said, she's gone.
Assim que eles saíram dos corpos físicos, todas as dores sumiram. Eles sentiram a liberdade que nunca conheceram, e também muita alegria e muita paz.
There was absolute freedom of your soul and body.
But I can remember that it felt very exciting to be above and to be out and looking down and not threatening at all.
As I have come out, I'm in no pain, but I'm also just free of everything.
Todos eles, ao saírem dos seus corpos, começaram a perceber tudo o que estava ao seu redor. Cada um deles enxergou o seu corpo, percebeu o que estavam fazendo com ele e também para onde o estavam levando. Eles conseguiram atravessar as portas sem abri-las e também atravessaram paredes.
So I immediately went out through the door, did not open it, just went out. I was immediately on the other side of in the hall.
Nesse plano, não existem os limites que conhecemos de tempo e espaço. É tudo diferente. Muitas coisas ocorrem em frações de segundos e são percebidas de forma muito clara. Em termos de espaço, bastava eles pensarem em algum lugar que eles já estavam instantaneamente lá.
I could be in New York, I could be in Moscow, I could be in any place. There was no distance and time at that time with me.
And this time I'm thinking, I want to see my sister. So I immediately find myself in Rockville, Maryland at her home. And she's getting ready to go grocery shopping. She's had to go over the house and look for her keys that she had misplaced, had to find her grocery list. 2 weeks after I had this near-death experience, I was in contact with my sisters, and I brought this fact up to her and described, and she said, well, how did you know? I didn't see you, you weren't here.
Depois de um tempo, eles começaram a avistar uma luz. Na verdade, era um túnel de luz, por onde eles foram entrando e subindo.
The tunnel is not too big. I went on to come out into this beautiful pasture, valley land, flowers, bright, beautiful light, brilliant color. Nothing here is like it at all.
Passaram a ser recebidos por seus pais, seus avós e por parentes que já haviam partido bem antes.
Particularly very great thing happened with me. It was that I saw my parents, my real parents, and I understood that they were killed. And they were killed by KGB in Moscow, and I was happy of this. It sounds very ridiculous, but you know, I was happy because I was thought that I was abandoned by them.
And I also saw my grandparents coming to meet me. I had never known my grandfathers. They had both passed away before I was born. But I did know my grandmothers and my mother also. And as I'm there, this baby appears to me. And he says, hi, I'm your brother. And I said, I don't have a brother. And we don't talk as I'm talking to you. There was no way of misunderstanding. It was more like it was mental telepathy. And you can tell our Father when you get back, and he'll tell you it happened. And when I was able to talk to him, my dad said, well, I don't know how you knew that, because nobody but your mother and the doctor and I knew about these things.
The being of light that these patients often describe encountering, they say that they are in the presence of a being of complete love.
This is the most wonderful part of it. This is a warm, loving light.
And there was this unconditional love, like most parents have for their children.
Aquele lugar eles entenderam como sendo o céu. Em certo momento, eles foram informados que precisavam voltar. Afinal, algumas pessoas ainda necessitavam deles.
And I'm told them, are you ready to go back? No, I want to go on to the City of Light. And I could hear my daughter and look back and see her and my husband. They were saying, Vi, don't go. Come back to us. And they asked me again, are you ready to go? I said, no, but it seems that my daughter needs me, so I must go back.
We are alive because of love. And this was what brought me back, which, to be honest, I didn't want to come back, but this love brought me back. Love of people who wanted me back.
Enquanto estiveram por lá, o que eles entenderam como sendo o inferno?
They also want to know about hell. Is it a fiery, burning place? What I found to be hell was separation from God. This is a total hell.
The separation from light, from love, from God. Of course, this is hell.
Mas afinal, como eles retornaram?
This weekend I was in morgue, and on Monday I was taken from morgue, washed, and they began autopsy. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. When they opened my abdomen, they took hematoma, and they began this T kind autopsy, and some great power took me with neck, pushed me down, and I saw this movement down, and then I felt my headache, and I opened eyes, and this was coming back to my body.
Then they stopped working on me. They put a sheet over me. They filled out a piece of paper and they rolled me in a room. And I was lying in that room, and I was hovering above myself, watching myself. Then I heard what would appear to be an elevator door open, and these two guys came in, and they were getting ready to take me someplace. I later found out that that was probably the morgue. Then at that exact moment, I was inside a body again, so I started blowing the sheet. And they jerked the sheet off, pushed me back into the emergency room, worked on me and stabilized me.
Todos eles deixaram de ter medo da morte, porque agora sabem que existe vida após a vida.
The third thing that I've learned is that life is forever. Death is nothing more or less than a doorway. It's something you walk through.
Death does not exist. Don't be afraid. Death is only the part as a station, railroad station, where you come always to go to another life.
Qual a sua opinião sobre tudo isso? Comente aqui embaixo e sugira outros temas. Na próxima semana estaremos abordando informações sobre os assassinatos de Marielle Franco e Anderson Gomes. Nos veremos na próxima semana. Até lá!
Momento assustador.
Produção
Paulo Barros e Levi Barros.